and welcome to episode 14 of Control Alt Deplete. I am here,
Hello.
one of your hosts, Buckblind, along with on the right side of the screen, the other host, Mr. Bioshock. How you doing, Bio?
Hello. Good.
Both of
Little
us.
tired, but I'm good.
To say we're both pretty well rested, I think.
Yeah, we're just degens right now. We're recording a
Yes.
podcast at 5 in the morning.
Right. Yep, I just woke up from like a 14-hour nap, so that was great. Ugh. Needed it. I'd slept for 2 hours in the combined 2 days before then, so, I knew I was going to crash for a while.
How long do you sleep for?
I went to bed at like 2 o'clock yesterday and slept until 5 o'clock, 4:30, so yeah, it's like 14 hours.
Nice.
Yeah. Like I said, I slept for about 2 hours. I slept for 2 hours Tuesday and had been up since 4 o'clock Monday afternoon. So
Nice.
yeah, that was rough. I was crashing yesterday. I was ready. I had to make sure all the storms went through first and weren't going to cause any issues. So I was watching those. Once I was like, yeah, these are kind of fizzling out and not really doing much. Then I was good to go ahead and go to sleep.
Yeah.
But
That's
all right, let's go ahead and jump into some of the news here. So first off, our just as a heads up for you Mythic Plusers out there. The affixes this week are Fortified, Bolstering, Storming, and Thundering. So it's not too bad a week, I don't think. Bolstering can be a little annoying, but honestly, the 20-second time run bolstering to me just isn't a big issue anymore.
I think Tyrannical's toxic.
Tyrannical is. Tyrannical
Not
this
a bit.
expansion.
There wasn't bad other expansions.
So Tyrannical in this expansion has been easier to time keys on than Fortified. But honestly, I think what happened this expansion is I feel like the boss fights on a lot of the dungeons were overtuned, even on Fortified. Because I felt like on Fortified weeks, the bosses were taking about as long to kill as they did on Tyrannical weeks in previous expansions. Which then means on Tyrannical weeks, they're taking like 5 minutes to kill a boss. Whereas, so historically, and I just remember this with my OCD brain, historically throughout BFA and Shadowlands, Fortified weeks, bosses would take about a minute and a half to kill. On Tyrannical, they would take about 3 minutes to kill. They're taking about 3 minutes on Fortified and Dragonflight, and taking about 5 minutes on Tyrannical, which is absurd in my opinion.
They're long fights.
So I feel like maybe they just got their boss tuning off, or maybe that's how they want it to be. I don't know. Speaking of affixes, and we'll touch more on this later, they are debating whether or not they will make it so, one, we already know there's not going to be any seasonal affix for next season, but they're thinking of doing the affix you normally get at +4 starting at a +7, and then the ones that you normally get at +7 starting at +14. I kind of like that. I do think it could cause some tuning issues potentially. I know I saw some people, I think Nagura was talking about potentially they should put a cap on some of the scaling for some of the affixes. Because like explosives scale now, the health of the explosives scales with the key. And she was suggesting like a cap at like a +20, which I agree with that, because I think when you get that higher scaling, it's so much stuff at the higher key level that it becomes a bit absurd. So I can see that point, and I agree with that. But yeah, so those are our weekly affixes. Not too bad this week, honestly, in my opinion. I know we're going to try to run some keys this week, so we'll see what that's like.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
It's been like months.
Right? The next topic is the big battle bear with Twitch Prime. So we've got a new little thing you can get. Twitch Prime is something that will come with Amazon Prime for free if you already have it. If you do not have it, get Amazon Prime, because I mean pretty much everyone in the world has Amazon Prime.
It's just the best thing.
Yeah, there's really no reason. Like, I don't have it for Amazon Prime Video, but you get Amazon Prime Video with it, so you get a streaming service. You get all your free shipping on packages and next day shipping and all
next
sorts
day
of
delivery.
Yes, yeah, and everybody's shopping on Amazon. As much as Amazon is a big evil giant corporation that needs to treat their employees better, everyone still uses it because it's kind of like Walmart. Like, what can you do?
Yeah.
You
you just go with the flow.
Nobody likes the corporation, but it's the cheapest thing out there, and it's a great product. So
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they just need to treat their employees better. But the horror stories, man, from Amazon. I work with a lot of former Amazon people, and yeah, it's not a great place.
I've heard terrible things. Even here in Canada, we have that same issue. Like, I had friends that worked like the warehouses, hated it. Worked there like a couple months and they left because they just could not handle it.
Yes, they are not an easygoing place. People complain about where I work at, the warehouse I work at, and I'm like, it's not as bad as you think.
Go to Amazon.
Yeah, you'll be a lot happier here. Most of our former Amazon employees stick around at our place.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you have Amazon Prime Gaming, then you can go. It's also like Twitch Prime. It gives you the same thing and everything. If you go to the Blizzard site, their news site, maybe I'll post the link in the comments or something. You can click their link for it, and it'll take you to the news page, and they've got a link to claim the offer. All you got to do is click claim offer. If you don't have the Prime Gaming account, get it, or you can do a free 30-day trial and cancel it. Whatever. But then you link your account to your World of Warcraft account to it, and it will give you the option to get the in-game content. So it's very, very simple. I know you and I are going to do that right after the podcast.
Actually, I'm doing it right now.
There you go.
Yeah, I just. Sorry, you have to excuse me for a second.
No, you're good.
The code texted to me.
Nice. Say yes. Link account. Yeah, so you'll click on get in-game content and then click link account. And let's see what else this takes me to. All right, there you go. It's going to ask for your permission. You just allow your permission, which, sure, allow all permissions. And then there we go. Now it should be in my account now. Anyway, moving on. We had the MDI finals this past weekend. It was actually or maybe it was the weekend before last. I don't remember now. I think it was this past weekend. Yeah, because it was a very tight race. Normally Echo just clean sweeps or wins like 3-1. It was a very tight race. I know at one point one of the dungeons was won by 2 seconds. There was a 2-second difference between these guys. No, it was a very good race. Let me look this up real quick because I forgot to link anything on it. But Echo did end up winning the MDI. It was a very close one. I think what happened was, from what I've seen, I didn't get to watch the MDI because my power was out the entire time. But I think what happened was basically Echo made several mistakes, and it's part of why it's really close. Obviously, also the other team was very, very good as well. Not taking anything away from them. Mandatory, that was the team name, Mandatory. But what essentially happened? Yeah, it was throughout almost all of the matches in the finals for Echo. They lost at least one map. But what it seemed to be, from what I had heard and read from people commenting on it, was that Echo was making several mistakes. And so it was very, very close. But that's kind of how good Echo is that they are good enough that they can make mistakes and still manage to pull off the win. But it also showed, I think, that Echo is not necessarily completely unbeatable.
Yeah, which is making Superman bleed.
Yes. Echo has dominated every World of Warcraft, competitive. Every World of Warcraft esport out there, whether it's PvP, Mythic Plus, or Raid. I mean, Echo has dominated for the last 3-4 4 years, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I know it was a really good MDI. I know we had. Let me see if did we have it in the finals. I know there was a map that was 4-man DPS, I think.
Oh, really? With the
Um,
Prop Alley heals?
yes, here it was. Cheese. Actually, no, both teams did. Okay, so this was in the quarterfinals. Echo versus Cheese. Court of Stars. Echo ran Prop Pally, Enhanced Shaman, Feral Druid, Unholy DK, and Shadow Priest. No healer. And Cheese ran Prot Warrior, so that's interesting. Feral
Yeah,
Druid, Havoc Demon Hunter, Unholy DK, and Devastation Evoker.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Devastation Evoker, eh?
Yes, they
Interesting.
ran that. Well, because
That's
you
like
have
the
a lot
first
of
time I've seen it.
off heals with the that you can
Living
use.
Flame and
So
stuff. Yeah.
but no, Court of Stars apparently is a very popular one. We've been seeing. I know a 28 was timed. Nerf Tank timed his team timed a 28 Court of Stars with 4 DPS, no healer. Because Court of Stars, I guess, is a dungeon, and it makes sense because most of the damage in there is avoidable damage.
Avoidable, yeah.
So you don't have to have a strong healer. But yeah, that's crazy. But no, then the other thing that happened with the MTI finals, and this cracked me up. Who was it? Oh, was it Now? Yeah, Now from the Tank for Echo. He posted a weak aura that they had made and they had kept secret the entire season and did not unveil it until the finals.
Right.
And well, they used it throughout the MDI. And what this weak aura does was in Court of Stars, it makes it made it so that if you clicked on the spy, it would tell you whether or not it was actually the spy before you actually clicked it.
So I heard about that.
Yes, so they used that, they saved it, and they somehow kept the whole thing under wraps. And then as soon as the MDI was over, they put it public, and within days, Blizzard hotfixed it, so you can't use it, can't do it anymore. So I thought that was hilarious. But you know, I mean, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything wrong at all.
They made a
great weak aura, something that Blizzard overlooked. It's not an exploit because it's not something that like you're just gonna gain a whole bunch of power from or whatever that you're not supposed to. It was just a weak aura, and Blizzard does it all the time. Somebody makes a weak aura, and Blizzard's like, "Nah, we don't want you doing that."
Yeah,
you know. But so that was funny, I thought. But yes, congratulations to Echo on the win. What were you gonna say?
Something I saw when I was kind of looking into the MDI was that every class was represented at least once except for monks.
Ooh, rip.
There were no Brewmaster, no Mistweaver, no Windwalker. There was no monks the entire MDI.
That is interesting.
This last.
So yeah. I get no Brewmaster and no Mistweaver, but I'm surprised that there wasn't at least one Windwalker.
Yeah, Windwalkers, I've been because I've been playing all my classes, getting them geared with the new system, the catch-up system. I've been looking into a lot of different stuff just to kind of get an idea of builds and stuff like that. And what I've noticed is that the top DPS that are this guy that I watch on YouTube called Marky E or something. He's a Windwalker monk, and he's doing 25s, and his top DPS will be around 110k. When you look at other classes, they're doing 150 plus. So it's not. He's a good player. Because he's stuck with monk. He knows what he's doing, and he does not say he's bomb DPS every time. But if these with some other competent players that are equally geared, other classes, they'll do significantly more DPS than what he's doing overall.
Right.
So it's I don't know. I think because that being said, the Windwalker monk next season's tier set, they used to be that. It used to be that. Oh, you're good. That Rising Sun Kick had a chance, and it was the tooltip said to go Nova, it caused an explosion, doing attack bar damage, whatever, to people in 8 yards, whatever. but it was just a chance, and it was 300%. But people are like, well, why would you use Rising Sun Kick at all in an AoE fight? And so they actually changed it so that every time you use Rising Sun Kick, it explodes for 80% of the damage to everyone in like 8 yards or whatever. So I'm wondering if that's going to be enough to help them. Because I don't really think it was their AoE that was the problem, to be honest. I kind of thought it was like their sustained damage.
Yeah, I was saying Windwalker's, yes, very big burst. When you pop the cooldowns and stuff, especially that, what is it, the
Bone Dust Brew?
Yes, Bone Dust. When you pop that Bone Dust Brew along with the other cooldowns, that does some damage. No, I want to apologize to that cough a second ago. I started cracking up after it because I muted in the stream and forgot until after I coughed and you just stopped talking that that just mutes it in the recording and not in your headset, so you hear, because I let that cough go too.
It was actually really quiet. I honestly thought you dropped your pop or something, and you were like, it sounded like a gasp to me. So I'm like,
gotcha. Yeah, no, because I muted it and then I just let it go because I had to cough real bad, and I forgot until after I coughed. Oh yeah, that still went right through his headset. Anyway, we do have some much needed ret nerfs.
Yeah.
Now it's not PvP nerfs, but it is. Let me see.
Also, Prop Valley nerfs too.
Shh! No! Don't nerf tanks. Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about.
I think Prop Valleys are really cool and fun, but I do not think you should be able to run a dungeon for the BS tank.
Yeah, I mean,
you should be able to do that. Maybe at like 10 and lower, but they should do like 25
plus. That's not a Prop Pally thing, because they did it with a Prop Warrior in the MDI. They didn't use a Prop Pally, so I mean, that has more to do with high skill and just having some kind of off heals. And from what I've read up on it is mainly Court of Stars that people are doing it on, simply because most of the damage is avoidable. But no, I do think Prop Pallies are very strong right now, which is great. I mean, I think they've been kind of middle of the pack for a while. So, anyway, so the ret nerfs that are coming, it's all damage reduced by 3%, and Instrument of Retribution duration was reduced to 9 seconds where it was 12 seconds. So anyway, that will... they also have a hotfix coming at a later date related to execution sentence and its unintended interactions with various damage boost. Then defensives, they're making Fading Light, Blessing of Dust causes your holy power generating abilities to also grant an absorb shield for 3% of damage or healing dealt instead of 10%. The Aegis of Protection increases the value of Shield of Vengeance by 10% instead of 20%. Shield of Vengeance duration reduced to 10 seconds. It was 15. And Lightforged Blessing now heals you and your party for 2% of maximum health instead of 3%. They said one of their major goals with the rework of Retribution Paladin was to give them a significant boost to their survivability, as this was an area where they were previously underperforming. We overshot the mark here, and Retribution Paladins are proving to be more durable than we intended. As such, we are making some defensive reductions to bring them more in line with our intentions. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is PvE and PvP both. I know it is definitely PvE. I just don't know if it also affects PvP or not. Because I feel like they'll make PvE changes and it does affect PvP, but then they make PvP changes that does not affect PvE. So I don't know exactly how that'll work. It's never been really super clear to me on some of that stuff. But I think these changes are both PvP and PvE.
Yeah.
So anyway,
they need a nerf in PvP for sure. Like it's like I don't really do much PvP anymore because I got just like burnt out from it a little bit, and just a lot of class hopping for flavor of the month for me.
Right.
But the streams I watch, most people I follow on Twitch are PvPers, so I'll occasionally tune in and see what's going on. Right. Every game has a ret.
Yeah. Well, it's like that picture I sent you, the evolution of paladin mounts throughout the years, and it has like the original paladin mount, and then the middle, the level 40 paladin mount, and then it has the gladiator mount for this season.
Just quickly,
Yes.
on my Discord is showing that you stream pause.
No, that's because that's just
Oh, I
because I
didn't know if that's
minimized
gonna
it.
affect anything or not.
Nah, it was just because I minimized instead of overriding.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, Ret's much needed nerf.
Yep. I don't think it'll affect him too much as far as PvE goes, really, because their damage, it's only 3% damage. I know they were the top DPS for raid.
Yeah.
I don't know that for Mythic Plus.
Really
though,
good for
Mythic
they were
Plus,
they were top. They were like top 3, I think.
No, Mythic Plus, they were bottom half in damage for the past.
I thought what I saw was maybe
for Mythic Plus damage rankings, they were bottom half. So I don't know. That 3% thing may be needed in single target, but I don't. I do feel like the damage nerf is maybe more of a band-aid instead of an actual fixing the issue.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the data from Warcraft logs showed Ret Pallies in the bottom half of Mythic Plus damage. So I don't know. I think maybe it's more of a single target issue than it is a AoE issue. I don't think your AoE is very strong.
Actually, it is surprisingly good. Like
it might have really strong burst, maybe.
Well, I don't know. Like my Pally's like 380, and like on 4 targets at 380, I was pulling like 80k DPS sustained, maybe dropping to maybe 70k on like 4 targets.
Right.
Like it seemed pretty high.
Yeah.
I don't, but like that was like fighting like rare, so like the fight was like 45 seconds, so that could be part of it, like just because I had everything going for like 25 seconds.
Right. So yeah, I'm looking right now at DPS Ret Pally. Yeah, they're still bottom half for the past 2 weeks in Mythic Plus. They are bottom half for DPS.
How are Windwalkers in that list?
Windwalkers are they're top half, but they're not like super high. They're like probably 10th or so. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th for Windwalker, and Ret is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15th for Ret.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have to send me that link so I can take a look at it at some point, because I'm actually curious to see, because I don't typically go out of my way to look at them. I just get like the notifications on my phone about like from sites like esports.com or whatever, and they often post like raid logs.
Yeah, the raid logs are different because that's specifically just the raid, which Ret Pallies were number 1 in raid. But that's kind of like, I'm a little concerned about the 3% just overall nerf. I think they probably need to target more the single target.
Their single target's crazy.
Because if they're doing super strong in raid, but they're still bottom half in Mythic Plus, their AoE doesn't need a nerf. It's their single target that needs the nerf.
Their single target's crazy.
Yeah. But, alright, anyway, moving on. So we did finally get an announcement for when 10.1 is starting. So that is going to be May 2nd. And along with that, Season 1 ends May 2nd. So you've got about 4 weeks to get your Keystone Master done. Hint, hint, bio.
I'm getting there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
So you have 4 weeks to get that done. If you want the AOTC mount, or if you're going for the Cutting Edge achievement, you have 4 weeks to get that done for the raid. So, once it ends the week of May 2nd, which May 2nd is a Tuesday, so basically that night, whenever the season ends, or that day, that morning at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 9 a.m., whatever time it is in your time zone, it will end, and all those achievements will be gone forever. But then we have 10.1 launch on May 2nd. Now, I just want to give a quick heads up because I know this is going to happen. They're going to have maintenance that day. I'm sure it is going to be like an 8-hour long maintenance that'll probably get extended to like 10 hours. It'll probably be like 7 a.m. It'll be like 8 a.m. Pacific time till 3 p.m. Pacific time, and then it'll get extended until 6 p.m.
Until
Pacific
5 or
time.
6. Yeah.
Like, that's what happens all the time. It happens every single time. Just go in expecting it instead of going in going, why is it such a long? Every single patch, it's a long maintenance, and every single patch, everyone's complaining about how long it's long. It's a patch. It's been long every single patch for the last 10 years.
They're adding another zone, aren't they?
Yeah, yes,
like,
they are.
With more catch-up mechanics. Like,
yes,
there's a new zone.
It's
we
crazy
just
to
we
me.
just got the Reach like a month and a half ago.
It's crazy to me how this happens every single patch for literally 10 plus years now. It's been happening that on a patch day, it's long maintenance, and it almost always gets extended because it's a lot of stuff to do. And people get so mad, like, why is this not just a regular hour-long patch? Because it's a big patch. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't get why people are... Yeah, I don't understand why people are surprised by it.
It's been that way forever. Like, I remember playing vanilla every Tuesday on vanilla. The servers were down for 12 hours every Tuesday.
Right. No, and for me, honestly, it was annoying on Tuesdays. You're wanting to play, you're waiting, you gotta wait, and it's annoying.
Yeah.
But for me now, it really doesn't matter because I have to work Tuesday, so I'm asleep all day, and then I get up and go to work, and I can't play until Wednesday anyway. So, haha, suck on that, losers. But yeah, it's the only good thing is I don't have to wait for maintenance anymore because I'm just asleep or at work. But yeah, so. Season 2 starts on May 9th. So the launch is May 2nd. We have a 1 week to do all the new things and check everything out.
Start your alts and stuff.
Yep. And then explore the new zone and kind of get a feel for it. And then Season 2 starts 1 week later on May 9th. The raid is coming out that day.
All difficulties, right?
I believe so.
I thought they're like releasing Mythic on day 1. Like,
I'm pretty sure. Yes, they are doing that. They are doing Mythic is releasing that same day, so there's not going to be the week gap of after that. Which I personally like that. I know a lot of the World First Raiders kind of they weren't real sure on it, but I don't know. I think it's a good thing in my opinion. But I think to me it makes it. And this might be just a my perspective thing. For me, I find it more interesting because I love this previous raid. I loved watching the Race for World First and seeing all the normal behind the scenes stuff you don't normally get to see of all the different normal raid splits, then heroic raid splits, them trying to figure out loot, all the Mythic Plus that they run. Normally, all we see on Race for World First broadcasts are... Okay, day 1, they do a couple of heroic splits, and then they go into Mythic Raid. And, like, we don't really see all the behind the scenes, all the extra work that they do just to get to that point, we don't normally get to see. So I personally liked it. I don't know why. I think the people that mainly didn't like it, and I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, I think the people that didn't like it were the teams that weren't Echo or Limit. Because
is Method around, or is Method Echo now? Or
Method is still around. They have their raid team. They finished 3rd in the Race for World First last raid.
Echo's EU, right?
Yes, Echo's EU and Limit is NA. But
I
those two, I think pretty much any of the raid teams that weren't Echo or Limit. Where I'm not trying to throw shade at any teams because I understand everyone's in a different position. Those 2 raid teams are really the only 2 raid teams that can pretty much just go and do whatever they want because they have such large communities, they have such large amount of sponsorships.
They can take time off like real life jobs to like spend their every day, every hour of every day on the game.
So I think what happened was it not only became a race in Mythic pushing. It became a race to get heroic splits and normal splits done, which again, to me, I liked that. However, those 2 raid teams have huge advantages because they have such large communities. They could pull people in, because I know specifically, because I watched Method a lot because that's who I root for usually is Method. I was watching theirs, and they had to delay their start time because they were waiting for people to wake up so they could pull them into normal splits, and because they were trying to get community members in, but people weren't awake because with the way that they changed the resets because they did change the resets recently for EU and NA. Used to be EU would reset in the morning over there, just like it does over here. So, but it was like a big long difference. Now, when EU resets, it's like 5 a.m. their time. So instead of at like 8 a.m., so what happens is 5 a.m. no one's awake. They're all up and ready to go, but they have to wait for other people because they have their splits set up and they need community members instead of their raiders to go with them. So I think a lot of the raid teams that weren't Echo and Limit had that same issue where they need to run their normal splits, but they didn't have enough people available to run them. And so I think that's part of why those guilds don't want the Mythic to release the same time, because then that gives you a full week to get your splits done, and you can kind of schedule it whenever and whatever time is more convenient. But I think also the other complaint that those guilds tend to get, and even Echo and Limit complain about it as well, is how long the Race for World First were taking. And so putting Mythic out at the same time shortens that time, because you can jump into Mythic 3 days in instead of having to wait a full week. And it's not like during that full week they're just sitting back and relaxing and not doing anything. They're running normal and heroic splits all week long. So it's not like, oh, well, they can just continue with their normal work schedule that week or whatever and then take the time off the Mythic week. No, they're taking that first week off anyway. So it's kind of a give and take. It's like, you can I think what it is you're going to feel more pressure that first week, because with having Mythic releasing at the same time, because you're racing for not just Mythic but also for normal and heroic. However, you're going to be able to shorten up your overall raid time. So I think that's why Blizzard's wanting to do it, because so many people complain about how long the races were taking. So I think this is going to be a permanent thing we're going to see going forward, seeing Mythic release at the same time. Personally, I love it. But I'm not a Race for World First person, so.
Yeah, I get that. Like, what the past expansions was it just taking too long? Because like, you have 1 week of like just heroic, right? Normal heroic, and like then Mythic, so you have to like play for like 2 or 3 weeks straight.
So going back to Shadowlands, the last raid in Shadowlands, I believe it was. I think it was the last raid in Shadowlands. Or was it the Sylvanas one? It was either the last raid or the next to last raid, but I think it was the last raid in Shadowlands where he killed the jailer.
Yeah,
I believe that raid, yes. So for all of us, we look at that raid and go, oh, that race lasted for 13 days, which is a longer than normal. But no. It didn't last for 13 days. It lasted for, not 13, it was 17 days, I think is what it lasted for. But for us, it lasted for like 16, 17 days. Because we started watching when the Mythic released. For the raid teams, that lasted for 23 days because they had a full week ahead of that. So almost a full month these guys were working on this and in the middle of all the raid stuff. So a lot of these teams were pushing and pushing for 23 straight days. I remember Echo literally, or not Echo, Limit literally, they were competing with Echo for the race. And Echo might still have won it regardless, but Limit literally finally said, all right, guys, we're calling it right here. We're going to fly home. Everyone can go home, take a day or two and relax, and then we'll come back, because they were just burnt out mentally because it lasted for so long that Max finally just said, I'm more concerned about your guys' mental health and physical health, so we're calling it, it shouldn't last this long anyway. And I think that was kind of the breaking point for a lot of guilds. I know there were 3 or 4 different guilds that I remember seeing literally after that raid basically announced, hey, we're not competing for Race to World First anymore because it's just too long and there's too much investment in it, and it just wasn't worth it for them as a guild. They just couldn't commit to that. So I think that raid really kind of opened Blizzard's eyes that be careful not to overtune stuff and that it needs to be shortened up. So that's a big issue. And I think, again, having this Mythic difficulty release that same week, I think that helps this issue. It creates other issues, but I think overall, I think it's a better thing. But yes,
yeah,
also,
that's a long time.
Yes, for sure. Also, we do have the new PvP season will be opening up at the time. I don't know if you have any info on that. I don't pay much attention to the PvP scene. I know you do.
I mean, there's some sets I want to get elite-wise, but I'm not like invested or anything at this point.
Right. But yeah, so Aberrus, the Shattered Crucible, that is the new raid. Raid Finder, it says more details to follow on the Raid Finder schedule, so I personally would love it if they would just release Raid Finder all at once instead of making you wait for 6 weeks.
Like a month.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's weird having that time. Now, I understand if maybe they want to wait until the Mythic race is over to release the final wing or whatever, because a lot of times, they have secrets in that final wing and they don't really want a whole bunch of extra stuff. So I can understand that. But I don't think the way they've been doing it, where there's like 4 different wings and it releases one every 2 weeks, it's just annoying. Because, I mean, I don't know. It seems to me unnecessary at this point. Raid Finder should come out like either just release the whole thing like 2 weeks after the race starts or right off the bat. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really do LFR, so I don't really care personally.
Something else, by the way, this isn't in the show notes, but something else that's going on right now is the Turbulent Timeways. I was not aware of anything on this until I saw it pop up in the news stuff on it. So I guess they are doing, this is week 2 of it, I believe. And for 6 weeks in a row, they are having time walking up. And it is, I think they've got Mythic Plus time walking for each of those as well. And so it's just like the normal time walking event, I believe. It's just that they're doing it each week. And I've seen some other people give some feedback on this as well, and finally come to the same conclusion that I had a year and a half ago, whenever they announced how Season 4 is going to be, and that we were going to have time walking dungeons in the Mythic Plus pool. And I see people coming to conclusion that while this event is happening, they're going, man, this is how Mythic Plus time walking always should have been. Instead of being part of the season pool, they should just have it every single week available, so where you can just do the dungeons every week. And I'm like,
something you've been saying for like half a year.
Yes, for a year and a half. Like, literally since they announced Season 4, I was like, guys, this is dumb. Just do this instead. And now they're doing this right now. And like, again, just do it this way. Just have time walking every week, go through a different expansion each week, and leave time walking dungeons out of Mythic Plus pools. So that way people that want to do time walking still can do it, and they can go back and enjoy old dungeons. Like, I might have gone, maybe I would have gone back and done Halls of Valor on just regular time walking stuff. I love that dungeon. I absolutely enjoyed it. I look forward to doing Freehold. I don't want it as part of my Mythic Plus pool though. I want it as an optional thing that I can do during time walking. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe that's kind of what they're gonna plan on doing that for the second half of the expansion. Maybe these, because the reason they're doing this now is that they've got enough dungeons. I mean, you're talking they've got 3 to 4 dungeons for almost every expansion now, where they've got Mythic Plus mapped out for the different time walking expansions.
Yeah, Dragonflight's the 4th expansion with that.
Yeah, well, so like you've got well, not even that, but like they've gone back and WAD and MOP, those expansions, they've got enough time walking dungeons. Because let's see, WAD. So in WAD, you've got now 3 dungeons that they've done time walking Mythic Plus for already, because you had 2 back in the end of Shadowlands, and you had 1 with Shadow and Burial Grounds. So you got 3 time walking dungeons that are Mythic Plus. As far as MOP goes, you only have the 1, because they've only done 1. But I know we're getting the second one, I think, with this upcoming expansion. Or no, we're not. It's the Cataclysm one. So like Cataclysm and MOP, you still only have 1, but like BFA, every single dungeon had Mythic Plus. Legion, every single dungeon had Mythic Plus. So you could easily do that and continue adding with MOP and stuff, and make Mythic Plus stuff more available. So I don't know. I hope they go that direction, but we'll see. Anyway, I just want to throw that. I just noticed. I just remembered that was going on.
I'm trying not to put my finger in my mouth that much, but I think I cracked a molar. Like I was dragging my tooth over my tongue over my tooth, and it's like really sharp, like my tooth is. And then I kind of like poked at it with my finger, and like some little pieces came off.
Fun.
Doesn't hurt though. So I'm out.
Well, that's good.
Worried and just I just thought I'd say that because in case people are seeing me put my finger in my mouth like 10 times over the last 5 minutes.
It happens. I had when my wisdom teeth came in. I should have gone to a dentist, but my insurance was crap, and it was $1,200 for my wife to get 2 wisdom teeth removed, and I needed all 4 removed. So I was like, no thanks. I just dealt with it, and when mine came through though, normally they'd like a side impact or something like that or whatever.
Yeah.
Mine literally, here's the tooth. The wisdom tooth went right through it and literally split them in half and cracked them all apart, and they just fell apart over a period of about 3 or 4 months, and it hurt so bad. Oh man, yeah, I was taking just doses and doses of ibuprofen every day. It was so painful.
I was like, the beautiful thing about Canada was like, I need my wisdom teeth removed. So I went in, got an X-ray, like, okay, well, see you in 2 days. Yeah, cool. Go in and get my teeth removed and walked out. Like, you're good to go.
Yeah. Go and brag about your universal health care. Anyway, so while we normally don't discuss much political stuff on the podcast, we're gonna get slightly political here for a minute. Not super political, because it really shouldn't be political, because it's just basic human rights. Anyway, so upcoming here in a couple days on, it is actually tomorrow. Now that I look at the actual date, it is tomorrow night, April 7th at 9 p.m. I am gonna be doing a speedrun attempt, my first one for Dragonflight. Going from 8 to 70 as fast as I can. The record is like 6 hours and 58 minutes. I'm thinking I'll probably wind up about 8 to 9 hours, somewhere in that time frame. Just because it's my first one, and I've got a new gamepad that I got to get used to. And I don't think Demon Hunter is quite as good as it used to be for speedrunning, with the talent changes and stuff, but we're going to see. But anyway, the difference between this and my previous speedruns is that we are doing charity event for the speedrun. So during the stream for the speedrun, you can type into the Twitch chat exclamation donate or exclamation charity, and either one of those will bring up 2 links for a couple of charities. The first one is the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, also known as ASON. It's a group it is ran by autistic people, and one of the things they believe, one, is that autism is not a disease. It is not something that needs to be fixed or, corrected or whatever. It's just part of how they live. There are millions and millions of people who are autistic. My oldest son is autistic. So this is an organization that has had a lot of great support. One of the reasons I picked them to go with for the campaign is it is one of the organizations that Des Mephisto has supported for a very, very long time. He's raised I think $23,000 for them in the past with his speedrun events and stuff. And he is who inspired me to start doing speedrunning. So I just kind of wanted to. It is Autism Awareness Month here in America. I don't know if it is up there in Canada or not.
I'm not sure.
But it is Autism Awareness Month, so in honor of that, as well as kind of a little tip of the hat to Des Mephisto, I wanted to support the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. Some of their tenets that they believe in is basically that if you're discussing autistic people, if you're making decisions about autistic people should be in that room for that discussion and be part of making that decisions. As if you're not autistic, you shouldn't be making decisions as to what kind of policies should be in place for autistic people. They believe, and I agree with them, autistic people should have a voice and their opinion should matter when it comes to discussing policies that affect them. The second charity that we're going to be supporting is the Trevor Project, which the Trevor Project has is a network of trained. They have a network of trained counselors and stuff, and their mission is to try to prevent suicide amongst young members of the LGBTQ plus group. Obviously, in America and in several other countries as well, you have a lot of members of that are under attack right now, trying to take away their rights. And I mean, especially in America right now, it's getting ugly. But so they have 24/7 support for anybody that is struggling, that is a member of the LGBTQ plus. It's a lot of letters there. I know it's hard for me to say it quickly. But they have 24/7 support, 365 days a year. Their website has all their links and phone numbers and everything they can call, so check them out. And basically, they just have trained counselors there. Anybody that's struggling, they can call, they'll talk. They have all sorts of information and stuff that they can help you with. So, gonna try to raise some money for that and help them out as well. So, right now, the campaign goals are $500. Hopefully, we can meet that. We'll see. But you don't have to do it through the stream. You can go to their sites right now, or go to the site for my campaigns and donate money, whatever you want to do. Every little bit will help. But yeah, so we wanted to kind of do that. So I'm excited about that. So come out, tune in to twitch.tv/Buckblind tomorrow night, and we'll hopefully have a nice, good, fast speed run, and then raise some money for some charities.
Good time, yeah.
Yep. So then, to wrap this up, what was your week in WoW, Bio?
It's just been the same thing it's been for probably two and a half weeks now. It's just farming rares, getting tokens for alts and stuff in case I feel like playing something different. So I've been playing just about every class except for maybe Hunter and Mage. Stuff like that. I've been playing tons. Just killing the rares, buying time to the next season. Getting the rare tokens. The item tokens for your alts, because it's really easy to gear your alts to like $3.95 now.
Right.
I figure I might as well take advantage of that.
Nice.
And keeping my eye on the patch notes to see what changes are coming. And that's was all I've been doing.
Nice. So as far as mine goes, pretty much didn't exist because my power's out for like 3 days.
Yeah.
There were 3 of my off days where I normally am online playing all the time. And I slept like the 2 days before that. So, no, but I spent a little bit of time in there trying to get stuff prepped for the speed run. That's primarily what I'll be working on for the next, today and tomorrow up till the speed run. I'll be working on getting stuff prepped and ready to go. And then Saturday, hopefully we'll be running some dungeons Saturday night. Get some keys done and work on getting you your Keystone Master.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, I haven't farmed much as far as tokens go other than the first couple days, but once I get past the speed run, and then I'll probably start doing that Saturday as well. But no, be a good week, I think.
Yeah.
So
that should be good.
But yep, I think I can hear. Yeah, Eli's waking up. So anyway, appreciate everyone watching. You can check out any of my socials up top. I got twitch.tv/Buckblind, and YouTube, I'm Buckblind the Demon Hunter, and on Twitter, I'm at BuckblindDH. Bio, what are yours?
QQ_Bioshock for my Twitch and my YouTube. I have nothing on YouTube still because I actually got my account got logged out and I don't remember the info. So I have to work on getting it restored. And I just put it off. But I hope to get there at some point.
At some point, we'll get you some videos on there. But yep, no. So we will be around playing and streaming, and then hopefully next week we'll be back for another episode. So feel free to tune in and watch. Don't forget on YouTube, hit that subscribe and like button if you're watching, and that way you get notified whenever we are posting new content. And thank you all for watching. You got anything else, Bio?
Nope, I'm good.
Alrighty. Everyone have a great one, and thank you, and we will see you next time.
See ya.